Hello everyone, it's time for another card on a very beautiful Tuesday here in Colorado. We're having lots of sun and just a pretty day. My name is Sherry Minnie. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I live in Keenesburg, Colorado, which is a small town about 45 minutes northeast of Denver. And today I'm going to do a card that features pretty much designer series paper. I've been kind of on a kick with that lately, trying to use up some of my papers. This one takes full advantage of a 6x6 sheet of designer series paper. And this is what the card looks like. And I just made Thinking of You. And then this one says, you've got the biggest heart, along with there's no one like you. And this one just says hello. And of course we did the envelope like we normally do. So let me show you what we're using. We are using this bundle. It's the Happy Labels bundle, and it comes, sorry, it comes, oh, that was a loud noise. I apologize. It comes along with the Happy Label punch. And this has been carried over into the new catalog, which will be live and available for purchase on May 2nd. And I do not believe this is a bundle any longer, but if you want it, you can order it and save yourself 10% now. Also, tomorrow, the 19th, is free shipping day, so you could order something and not have to pay shipping. In addition to that, we are using, our ink color is Pebbled Path. This is one of the new colors for 23-24, and I kind of like it. It's kind of a gray, just a little bit of a different shade than what we've had in the past. And we'll also use some embellishments. I'm just kind of cleaning out some of my old retired stuff, so you could use whatever you have in your stash. And in your packet, you will have a 6x6 sheet of designer series paper. This could be any paper that you have on hand. You'll have your card base, which is 5.5 by 8. I'm sorry, 4.25 by 8.5 scored it. Oh, I'm getting this all messed up. 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4.25. Got it. I think. Then you'll have a piece of coordinating cardstock, whatever matches with your designer series paper. This is 4 by 5.25. You will have a piece of basic white that is 3 3/4 by 5. That's for the inside. You will also have a small piece that is a slight inch. I cut it down just a little bit so it would fit into the punch really well, and then it's 2 3/4 by length. And a couple of pieces of ribbon, and again, whatever ribbon you have in your stash that would coordinate with whatever paper you're using. So we're going to do our stamping first, and then I'll show you how we're going to cut our designer series paper. So we have our Pebbled Path. And we are going to use There's No One Like You for our front greeting. I apologize for my kind of froggy throat. I'm just suffering with my allergies. Seeing anything's not really working, so please bear with me. So try to center this as best you can on your small piece of paper. That's not too bad. And then on the inside, I'm going to just use one that says, you've got the biggest heart. This is a card. I do have my classes this week, and this is a card that we will be doing in class. Okay, there's the... And then the only other thing we have to stamp, I used the hello on the front of the envelope just to have a little stamping on the front. And of course we will cover the back here. All right, there we go. And there's that for the ink. I will put this away so I don't mess anything up. Now I'm going to show you how we're going to cut our paper to get the maximum use out of it. So again, this is a 6x6 sheet of paper. I think this is from the Petal Park Designer Series paper. All of these papers and everything will be no longer available after the May 1st. Everything retires. There is some items available now at a discount. So you're going to take your paper, and the first thing you're going to do is you're going to cut it down. Let's see, I don't even know if you can see this if I bring it down. We're going to cut it down at the 3 3/4 mark. That leaves you a nice piece to go on the flap of your envelope. Then we're going to turn it, and we're going to cut it down at 5. So this is the piece for your front. And this is your piece for the, you have this left over, but I used it on the inside of my cards. If you notice here, I don't know if I showed you. So I just cut this one in half at a 1/2 inch and used it on the inside. So I'll just put this in here. I do most of my cutting at the bottom of my cutter because I like the extra long ledge here to line up my paper. And I'm going to tape it down just because this is a small piece of paper that I'm trying to cut straight and cut in half. All right, there's that. Now let's see. The other thing we're going to do is you have this that we cut down 3 3/4 by 5. We are going to cut 3/4 inch off of this. So we'll just line it up with 3/4 inch and we're going to cut it down. Okay? And then what happens when you get ready to put it on your card front, you're going to turn it over so that you see both sides of your paper. Okay? Real quick, like I'm going to do finish up with our stamping pieces. So I'm going to put this along here, and I'm going to put this along here. And I did trim this one off just a little bit because it was a little bit long. I didn't want it to go from side to side, like I usually do. Okay, and let me grab my silicone mat so I don't get glue all over everything, and I'll use my Stamp and Seal. Hope you all had a wonderful Easter. We did. That was the reason I didn't have a video last week. I was so busy getting ready for Easter, and then it was just crazy. And then today, I'm pretty late getting this out because, as you all know, today is tax day, and I had tons of checks I had to write this morning, which did not make me happy. I hate this type of year. You work really hard, and then it seems like you give quite a bit of it to the government. I'm very thankful that we have the money to pay our taxes, but I wish, and we are very blessed. We don't, financially, we're so blessed, but you just wish that you maybe could control how that money is spent rather than giving it up to the government. So, and there we go. So that's our inside piece. I may just go ahead and put this down. So we're going to fold our card base. Use my bone folder to crease it down really well. I will take this. Put a little adhesive along the top, a little bit on each side, and some on the bottom. And then this will be ready to put down on the inside. You have a pretty nice border on this. I cut it smaller than I would normally. Okay. Then the other thing we have left to do is we're going to take our punch. Now our punch has 2 different designs. You can do like a scalloped or kind of like a little ticket edge. I'm going to do the scallop. And so this punch, you can punch 3 different widths. I'm going to do 1 inch. And all you do is you slide it in as far as you can. I always try to get it pretty straight. I turn it over and I look at right here at the top. You can see this little, the top part. And so I kind of push it over to get it straight. Make sure I have it pushed all the way in. There we go. And then I just punch. Now I do always make my strips about 1/2 inch longer, because, or 1/4 inch, because you do lose this much of your paper when you do the punching. Again, slide it in there, turn it over, and I kind of line it up in the back, looking at the sides here to see if I could have it fairly straight. And there we go. That's all for that. Now this is going to have dimensionals on the back. So I will take my dimensionals and stick them on here. So this piece is all ready to go when I need it. Okay, now we're going to take this piece and our coordinating cardstock. This happens to be Mango Melody, which is one of the colors that is going away. Stampin' Up! Did a color refresh, and so we have lots of new pretty colors coming in, but some of my favorites are also going out, which makes me a little bit sad, but it is what it is. So again, I'm going to put, put some along the top, on the sides, and on the bottom. And we will take this and just kind of line it up, giving her a border at the top, bottom, and the side, and try to make it somewhat straight and even. And then we'll take the opposite side of the Designer Series paper. So here's this side, we're going to turn it over, and this is the side we're going to put right next to it. So I will just put tape there, a little bit going down, and a little bit right there. And then we will just take this and we will line it up right next to our larger piece that we just put down. So you have something. I got my borders off a little bit. Ideally this would be the same size border as that, but I got them over a little too far, but it's fine. Now we're going to work on our ribbon. So you have a longer piece and a little bit of and a shorter piece. So now first of all, we're going to put down the longer piece, and we're going to put some tape on our card right along here and right down here. And this card I've used for other projects, so there is leaves on the back side, but it'll be perfectly fine and nobody's going to see that. So then I take the longer piece. This navy blue ribbon is one that I also carried over, and I'm glad because I do like it. And we're going to lay it down. Try to get it somewhat straight. And then this is going to go on the front of our card. So again, I'm going to put, I always put a little bit of extra glue on, or adhesive on my ribbon part so that I make sure it stays down. And then this is a pretty quick card. Even cut, there's not a ton of cutting, so it all goes pretty quickly. Again, try and get it as straight as we can. We're going to take our smaller piece of ribbon and we're going to do, I call these faux bows. I don't know if that's what everybody else calls them, but that's what I call them. And we're just going to tie a simple knot right here on the side. Just about like so. Pull it good and tight. And then we can trim it whatever length we want. Then we need to take our hello piece, take the cut backings off our dimensionals. And I kind of put this in about a third of the way and kind of centered it between the ribbon and the edge of the, there we go. Now we need to put some pretties on, some dimensionals on here. And I have some really pretty kind of yellow ones that I thought maybe I would use. Excuse me, or maybe I'll use the blue. That might be pretty, huh? I think I'll, ooh, excuse me, now I got the hiccups. I think I'll go with my first inclination, which was the yellow. I'm going to put one on each end of the greeting strip. And then to keep in my three, going in patterns of 3 and trying to make a triangle, I'll put one right there. Now the only other thing we have left to do is to take and put our glue. And for this I'm going to use liquid glue on my flap. A little bit, not a lot. If you can see it, that's enough, as one of my fellow demonstrators says. We'll put the lid back on, get this put away, and put our rub this down really well. Get rid of a few scraps of paper here. Do our trimming. So I have ordered the catalogs. The ones of you that receive it by mail may already have it. The ones of you that are coming to class this Thursday and Friday, you will get your catalogs at that time. You won't be able to buy anything out of them until May, but at least you'll have them in your hands. And I always enjoy just looking through them and getting ideas. So that's it for today, ladies. Here's our card. Here's our envelope. And here are the two that I made. I made several of these and just used all kinds of different designer series papers, which was a fun thing. And I also used up some paper. So I hope you enjoyed this card. I thank you so much for taking a little bit of time and watching it with me. As always, you can go to my online store at SharonMuni.StampinUp.net if there's anything you might be interested in. All the dimensions and pictures of this card will be posted on my blog at simplylovestampin.com later this afternoon. And you can always reach out via email at suaddicted@gmail.com. Sorry. So I hope you make it through tax day. I hope it wasn't too painful for most of you. And again, thank you so much for watching and spending some time with me. May God bless each and every one of you. And I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.